Remember when thrift stores were the go-to spot for unbeatable bargains? When you could find a $2 top or a stack of books for just a few quarters? These days, thrifting feels like it's more expensive than ever, and shoppers are asking, what happened? Today at Backward, we're peeling back the curtain on the hidden dynamics behind those rising thrift store prices. Is it resellers, TikTok trends, or something much bigger? From digital resale platforms like Poshmark and Depop to the fast fashion flood, we're exploring the ripple effects reshaping the secondhand market and what it means for your wallet. But before we start blaming TikTok influencers, make sure to subscribe to our channel, give this video a thumbs up, and hit that bell button. So let's look at the full picture. From economic factors to shifting consumer habits, there are many reasons behind the rising prices. Platforms like Poshmark, Depop, and ThredUp have completely revolutionized secondhand shopping, offering curated, trendy pieces with just a few taps on your phone. Instead of digging through racks in a thrift store, buyers can now browse highly specific collections online, often categorized by size, style, or brand. This convenience has attracted millions of users and created a booming digital resale market. The resale market is growing at a staggering rate. According to ThredUp, resale grew 15 times faster than traditional retail clothing in 2023. By 2028, it's expected to more than double, growing over 6 times faster than the broader retail sector. With this explosive growth, thrift stores are feeling the pressure to adapt. Many are raising prices on trendy, in-demand items to compete with what they see online. But it's not just about higher prices. These apps have also created another challenge: fewer high-quality donations. In the past, people would donate their gently used clothing to thrift stores without much thought. Today, they're more likely to list those items online themselves, knowing they can make a profit. This shift leaves thrift stores with fewer premium items in their inventory. The ripple effect is significant. As thrift stores see a decline in high-quality donations, they're forced to make do with what's left. That often means more fast fashion pieces, which are less durable and less desirable. To compensate, stores raise prices on the few standout items they do receive, further driving up costs for shoppers. For many, this makes thrifting feel like it's no longer the affordable option it used to be. Resale apps have also added a layer of artificial demand. It's not just casual shoppers who are competing for thrift store finds anymore, it's professional resellers. These individuals scour thrift stores for undervalued items they can flip for a profit. A $10 designer handbag might be purchased at a thrift store and then resold online for $100. While this isn't inherently wrong, it does intensify competition for the most desirable pieces, making it harder for everyday shoppers to snag a deal. And then there's the social media factor. Platforms like TikTok and Instagram have glamorized thrifting and reselling, with influencers showcasing their hauls and encouraging followers to do the same. Ultimately, the rise of resale apps and social media has created a perfect storm for the secondhand market. On one hand, it's great that more people are embracing sustainability and giving items a second life. On the other hand, the increased demand for high-quality secondhand goods is driving up prices and making thrifting less accessible for those who rely on it as an affordable shopping option. For thrift stores, balancing these new dynamics with their traditional mission is an ongoing challenge. And for shoppers, it's changing the way we think about secondhand shopping entirely. Fast fashion is destroying the quality of clothing. If you've bought a sweater recently and been disappointed by how quickly it pilled, stretched out, or just didn't feel right, you're not alone. Modern clothing is often made from low-quality synthetic materials like polyester or acrylic. These fabrics are cheap to produce but don't hold up over time, and they certainly don't provide the same comfort or durability as natural fibers like wool or cotton. Now, compare that to a 100% wool sweater you might find in a secondhand shop. Wool is naturally insulating, breathable, and long-lasting. A well-made wool sweater from decades ago can still look and feel amazing today, even after years of use. But if you try to find a wool sweater brand new, You'll often see wool blends or items that mix a small percentage of wool with synthetics to cut costs. These blends don't perform as well and don't last nearly as long, which leaves many shoppers frustrated. This difference in quality is driving people to second-hand stores. Vintage clothing made in the 1970s, 80s, or even earlier was designed to last. Manufacturers use better materials and sturdier construction because fast fashion wasn't a thing yet. Back then, people bought fewer clothes and expected them to endure regular wear. Today, many first-hand garments are designed to be disposable, worn for a season or two before falling apart or being replaced. The result? Savvy shoppers are turning to second-hand markets to find the quality that modern clothing often lacks. A vintage 100% wool sweater that would have cost $5 at a thrift store a decade ago might now go for $30 or $40, and that's still a bargain compared to buying something new of similar quality, if you can even find it. This increase in demand for durable, well-made vintage clothing is a big reason why secondhand prices are rising. People aren't just shopping secondhand for nostalgia or to save money. They're looking for pieces that actually last. As more people recognize the value of vintage clothing made with premium materials, the competition for these items keeps growing, and so do the prices. It's a shift that highlights just how much the quality of first-hand clothing has declined. On the flip side, fast fashion is increasing costs by flooding thrift store inventory. Disposable clothing is flooding donation bins, but much of it is low quality and can't be resold. Sorting through these items takes time and resources, which drives up operational costs. Even with fewer premium items, thrift stores are receiving more donations overall. That might sound like a good thing, but the sheer volume creates a new problem: storage and disposal costs. Many items donated aren't sellable, and commercial disposal is expensive. This adds another layer of operational costs that thrift stores have to account for, and that cost often lands on the price tags we see in stores. And let's not forget, trends move quickly. As new fashion cycles emerge, even trendy thrift store finds can sit on racks longer than expected. When items don't sell, it becomes a financial burden on stores, leading them to either mark up desirable pieces or dispose of unsold inventory entirely. Now let's talk about inflation. Thrift stores aren't immune to rising costs. From rent and utilities to wages and transportation, every part of the supply chain is more expensive. And unlike traditional retail stores, thrift shops operate on thinner margins, meaning even small increases in operational costs can have a significant impact on pricing. Rising rents and utility costs are directly reflected in the price tags on a thrift store's items. A used pair of jeans that might have cost $4 a few years ago now goes for $8 or more. That might not seem like a huge jump, but for shoppers looking to thrift as a budget-friendly option, those price increases add up quickly. Even transportation plays a role here. Higher fuel prices mean it's more expensive to move donations between collection sites, sorting centers, and retail locations, and those costs inevitably get passed on to consumers. Inflation isn't the only factor at play, though. In cities with high living costs, thrift stores are adjusting their prices to match the local market. This means shoppers in urban areas like New York, San Francisco, or Boston often pay significantly more than their counterparts in smaller towns or rural areas. The same pair of jeans that costs $15 in a big city might be priced at $5 in a smaller town, simply because operational expenses like rent and labor are lower there. For shoppers in these high-cost areas, the price gap makes thrift store shopping feel less accessible than it used to. And there's yet another layer to the rising prices at thrift stores. Have you noticed that some Goodwill stores are starting to feel more like boutique shopping experiences? That's no accident. Marketing and branding are key strategies for many thrift store chains to attract younger shoppers. From curated displays to influencer partnerships, these stores are investing in creating an elevated shopping environment. Bright lighting, organized racks, and trendy decor make the experience feel more upscale, and shoppers are willing to pay a premium for that. For example, some chains have embraced Instagram-worthy aesthetics with carefully curated interiors and color-coded racks. These efforts make the stores more appealing to millennials and Gen Z shoppers who value sustainability and style, but these upgrades come at a cost. The higher expenses of remodeling and branding are often reflected in the price tags, where once affordable items now carry boutique-level pricing. And while some shoppers enjoy this polished, modernized approach, others miss the unfiltered charm of old-school thrifting. For many, part of the joy of thrifting was the thrill of the hunt, digging through unorganized racks to uncover a hidden treasure. Now it feels like thrift stores are competing with traditional retailers, not just in aesthetics, but also in pricing. And as a result, we're paying the price for it, literally. Not all thrift stores are created equal, though. Independent charity shops often prioritize their communities, keeping prices low to ensure affordability for those who need it most. These smaller shops may have less inventory or fewer trendy items, but they stay closer to the original mission of thrift stores as a resource for budget-conscious shoppers. Large chains like Goodwill and Savers, on the other hand, operate more like businesses. Their pricing strategies reflect market demand and operational costs, which can vary widely depending on the store's location. In cities with high rents, thrift store prices tend to be higher to offset the cost of doing business. And then there's the growing market for trendy vintage items, which drives up prices even further. Stores know they can charge a premium for a 90s windbreaker, a designer handbag, or a perfectly worn-in pair of Levi's because shoppers and resellers are willing to pay for it. These items, once seen as bargains, are now treated as valuable commodities, turning thrift stores into competitive marketplaces where trendy finds come with a trendy price tag. For shoppers, this shift has made thrifting feel less like a hidden gem and more like a reflection of broader market trends. It's no longer just about affordability. It's about value, presentation, and a curated experience. And while that works for some, others are left wondering where the charm and the savings of thrifting have gone. So what can you do to avoid breaking the bank while thrifting? Here are some tips to keep your shopping affordable. Know the retail value. Compare prices before buying. Shop on discount days. Many thrift stores offer markdowns on certain days of the week. Explore smaller thrift stores. Local charity shops often have better deals than big chains. Consider online options. Sometimes resale apps offer better prices than physical stores. Go early and often. The best deals often go to those who show up when new inventory hits the floor. Thrifting is still an amazing way to shop sustainably and find unique treasures. But as the industry evolves, it's important to shop smart and hold stores accountable for their pricing. Let us know in the comments. Have you noticed higher prices at thrift stores? What do you think is causing it? Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Until next time, happy thrifting from your friends at Backward.